What is up, guys? It's your coach DJ back in with another episode of Way of the Nomad podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about how you cannot fool yourself. So, we're going to be talking about two very important topics, which is number one, we're going to talk about cognitive dissonance. And secondly, we're going to be talking about living in congruence. So, both of them are polar opposites and they play a big role on your happiness, your success in anything that you do. So, without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. Now, what is, first of all, living in congruence? Let's talk about living in congruence. What does that even mean? So, the general definition of congruence is the identical in form, in agreement, or in harmony. Now, when we apply this for your life, let's apply this to your fitness, whatever it may be. It's someone who lives in congruency, acts in direct accordance with their dreams, desires, beliefs, values, mission, and goals. So it's somebody that acts in accordance with their beliefs, with their dreams, with their values, their mission, their goals. Okay? That is what it means to be in congruence. Now, what is the other one? What is cognitive dissonance? This is the exact opposite. So, this is a state of being where basically you are, or you want something and you have a goal, but you act against it. And so it causes discomfort that many of you may have felt. I myself have felt this in my past when I don't, maybe it's going out partying, drinking, and actually the most common or the most recent one was when I was traveling and I was partying every day. I was not doing my morning routine. I was not in alignment with who I believe I was. So cognitive dissonance is how you may feel when there's a mental conflict that happens when your beliefs do not line up with your actions. Let me repeat myself. Cognitive dissonance is a mental conflict. So if you ever feel this mental conflict, maybe it's a voice in your head, maybe it's this shame, maybe it's this doubt, it's when your beliefs don't line up with the actions that you take on a daily basis. So this causes you to be in an uncomfortable state of mind when someone has contradictory values, attitudes, perspectives about a certain thing. And again, the degree of discomfort can vary from person to person, but this is something that people experience, cognitive dissonance, when they're not acting in a line with what they want to be, what goals they want to accomplish. And I know a lot of people can relate to this. It's that inner dialogue, that inner battle of, man, I should really go to the gym, but you're eating pizza. Or, man, I know I really want to get healthier, but you watch Netflix every single night instead of going to the gym for 30 minutes, right? That is cognitive dissonance. When you want something, when you have these goals, when you have these values, but you're not acting in accordance to it. So now with that being said, why can't you fool yourself? Because again, your brain knows that, if you're trying to teach your kids to be, let's healthy, you got to eat healthy, you got to do this. And meanwhile, you're eating a bag of chips every night, you're stuffing, sweets in the drawer, you're going to have something called cognitive dissonance because you're not practicing what you preach. There's a mental conflict because you can't fool yourself. You cannot fool yourself. Neither can you fool your kids. Neither can you fool your friends and your family. You can't tell and say one thing and do the other. And so today I'm going to break down how to live now in congruence. Now, how to live in line with what you want. Okay. So you don't need to struggle with this mental dialogue, this mental conflict that so many people struggle with. So going back to now congruence. So we just talked about cognitive dissonance. How does it happen? Again, you have a goal, you have these values, you know what you want, but you're acting out of line of it, right? And so you have this mental conflict, you have this mental battle, you beat yourself up, you have this self-doubt, you have these negative voices in your head saying you're not good enough, you're not this. So what do you have to do instead? Let's talk about that. Now, again, what I mentioned, someone who lives congruent has a set of goals. They're acting in accordance of what they want. They have a clear set. I want to be fit. I want to, be able to take off my shirt on the beach, whatever it may be. So they're doing all the habits, they're doing all the actions that are in line with their goals. So they're in congruence. They're acting in line with what they want with their goals. Okay, this is what it means to act in congruence. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up today's episode is I was actually watching Tony Robbins. He had an event called Unshakable, and this is one of my I guess I can say, motivational speaker that I grew up listening to when I was in personal development. When I say I still am. And he says that one of the greatest needs that human have or to live in congruence. Okay, that's one of the human's greatest needs. Now, we want to be consistent with our actions and our beliefs. Okay, that's the main thing that we are concerned about. What we believe about ourselves, we are always trying to prove ourselves right. Okay, so if you tell yourself, now this is the key, guys. If you tell yourself you've always been fat, you've always been unfit, you've always been unsuccessful, you are going to try to act in congruence. You're always going to try to act in congruence. So if you're telling yourself that you're a failure, if you're telling yourself you've never been fit, you've never been loved, you've never been this, you are going to find proof to prove yourself right. Hold that thought, guys. Hold this thought. This is everything. Imagine you worked in your favor. Imagine you use this to work in your favor. Now imagine you told yourself, I am worthy of self-love. I am worthy of a fit body. I am worthy of success. I want to be successful. These are my goals. And you are going to start acting in congruence with this new belief. You're going to act in congruence with this new belief because, again, one of the major needs of human beings is to be congruent with how we believe ourselves to be. So we're going to start to find evidence of why we're worthy of love, why we're worthy of success, why we're worthy of a great body. And it might sound, oh, how does this make sense? It's blah, 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 blah. I'm going to break that down. Okay, so the problem that most people have is they don't spend the time to actually know their beliefs, to actually know their values. And a lot of times there's that saying, if you had 10 hours to chop down a tree, you just spend 9 hours sharpening it. And that 9 hours sharpening it is going deep. It's figuring out who you are, what you value, what you truly want. But not a lot of people do that. And so they just do what their friends say is right. Do what their parents say is right. Get a career, get a job that they were told was the way to do it. Right? And so you're not living in congruence when you do that. You're not taking the time to sharpen the blade. You're not taking the time to figure out, what do you want? What does DJ want? What does Vince want? What does Ferran want? Whatever it may be, you got to ask yourself that. And you got to get clear on that. And people don't spend the time doing that. Okay, so when you're congruent with yourself, this is what happens. Your confidence is significantly improved because you are acting in accordance to all your beliefs, right? You're acting in accordance to all your beliefs. And this is something I talk about a lot. How can you trust yourself? How can you have self-confidence if you say one thing and you do the other? If you say you're going to go to the gym and you never show up, right? How can you be confident in yourself? Would you be confident in a friend that told you, I'm going to meet up with you every day and doesn't show up? No. Same thing for yourself. Second benefit of being in congruence is your energy and your desires are going to make a difference. There's going to be a difference dramatically. So your energy, your desires, right? They're going to be a massive increase in them because you're acting in accordance, right? You're moving in one line. You're not going this way and that way. You're going in one direction. You're not going 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You're taking every step forward when you're clear on what you want and the actions you need to take. Number 3, you feel at peace that you're going about life with intention. You're going through life with intention. You're not just reacting to the world. You're not just reacting to the world. That is the key, guys. You're living life with intention. What do you want? You're moving in that one direction. The 4th thing is making decisions become very easy. Making decisions become very easy. Why? Because you're not a liar. You're not fooling yourself. You know your goal. And so you're moving, again, back into that, what I just said, you're moving in one direction. Your decisions become easy because you know your goal. It's so easy when you know, I want to be, okay, again, fitness. I want to be fit. I want to be fit. I want to stop feeling pain in my back. I want to stop being overweight. I want to stop feeling embarrassed every time I look in the mirror. Okay, so ask yourself, your friends always ask you to go out, but every time you go out, you get shit-faced. You eat 10 cheeseburgers, and every single day, the day after, you feel like crap. So it's very easy to think, should I be doing this? No, I shouldn't, because I know what I actually want is this. These are all short-term gratification. that's been keeping me stuck. So easy to make decisions when you know exactly what you want. So easy to make decisions when you know exactly what you want. And the last thing is, doesn't matter if you don't believe in the law of attraction, any of that, things start to fall in place. Why? Because you get more of what you pay attention to. You want science behind it, reticular activation system. We have so many stimulus. We have so much stimulus in your day to day. If you were to pay attention to everything in the world, you would be overwhelmed, right? So what do we have? We have a system where we only focus on what's necessary, or our brain filters out information. It deletes information. It prioritizes certain information. And guess what? How can you use this? If you're focusing on that goal that you want, you're going to start to find the information. You're going to focus on the information that is in line with that goal. You're going to attract, quote unquote, attract more. Not because you did some magic trick. It's because your brain is choosing to focus on the things that it wants. I'm going to repeat myself. Not because you did some magic trick, because your brain is focusing to take in information that makes sense for that goal that you want. So, for example, you want to be a dancer, right? And you believe that you can be a great dancer. So what is your brain going to do? It's going to start looking for the opportunities. Every time you see in the news, maybe that you see there's a job opening, maybe that you see that sign on a street that there's what do they call them? Applications, whatever, tryouts, right? Because you believe and you have this goal, you're looking for evidence to prove yourself. Now, the opposite effect. If you start saying, man, I can never be a dancer, I can never be this, I can never be that, you're not going to be looking for it. So there's an opportunity, you hear it, goes one ear, out the other, because you're like, fuck, that's never going to work for me, right? That's never going to work for me. Why bother? Oh, that sign over there, whatever. There's so many signs like that. That's how the law of attraction works. It doesn't change anything in your life. It's just a matter of you start to see opportunities because of your belief. So these are the reasons why you want to be living in congruence. Now, what do? There are two things that you need to do. In order to get congruent with yourself, number one, you need to understand what it is that you stand for, what you're passionate about, and what you want to add to this world. Again, understand what it is you stand for, what you're passionate about, what you want to add to this world. This is when it comes to your fulfillment, and when it comes to what you actually want out of your life, right? You got to understand, you need to stand for something. If you are just living your life like a backseat passenger, that is the most pitiful way to live. To live like a passenger in your fucking car, in your life. Oh, whatever happens, yeah, I'm just going to go with the flow. What is this bullshit life where I'm just going to roll with the punches? No, you got to create the life that you want. You want to be fit. You can't just say, oh, if the gym comes about, if somebody gives me a free membership, if that trainer just decides to help me, like, what the fuck is that? Nothing in your life is going to change if you're a passive backseat driver of your life. You need to understand what you stand for, what you're passionate about, what you want to do in this world. Okay, you got to be clear. So how can you do that? So number one, again, understand what it is you stand for, what you're passionate about, what you actually want to do. You can journal. So this is something that I always tell my clients. You need to be thinking about your thoughts. You need to be thinking about your life. You need to have time for reflection. So many people are living their lives just reacting, never taking a moment to understand, why are you reacting this way? Why are you acting this way? Why are you thinking this way? This is the best thing you can do for yourself. Spend time thinking about your thoughts, breaking it down, self-reflecting. Why do you keep going to McDonald's every time you're stressed? Why do you keep, every time you go to the gym, why do you feel negative when you see somebody that's more fit, right? You got to break down these thoughts, or you're never going to help yourself. You're just going to follow patterns. And the best way to break patterns is a pattern interrupt. And how do you pattern interrupt? You fucking think for a second about your thoughts, because this is something that 99.9% of people don't do. We just act in patterns. And that's why every day looks like the next, because you don't take the time to break down, why the fuck are you doing certain things? All right, number one. So keep a journal, break it down, figure out why it is that you're acting a certain way. Number two, what are your strengths? So again, if you want to live in congruence and you want to live a life of fulfillment, what are your strengths? What are you good at? Right? You got to figure out, what are you good at? Maybe you should focus on that. Maybe you should do something around those along those lines, right? Number 3, create a mission statement. What is your mission? Do you have something that you want to accomplish in the world? Everyone does. You can't tell me that you were lucky enough to be on this world and you have absolutely no goal that's bigger than just, I want to get a house. I want to get a car, nice car. If that's all you want in this world, you're lying to yourself. Okay. I truly believe everyone has a mission statement. Whether it's, again, it can be inspiring your kids, right, to live a healthier and happier life, to live the life you never had, for example. Right? A mission statement is rarely ever just about you. It could be, taking care of your family so they never have to work. Maybe you want to retire your mom, maybe you want to retire your dad, whatever it is. What's your mission statement? You need to have a purpose bigger than, I want to look cool, I want to have a fast car. If that's your goals, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not going to get far, right? And I mean that as in, on the days that it get hard, how the hell is wanting a car going to push you on the days that you don't want to do it? How is that deep enough for you to want to push even despite the bad days, even despite the hard days? So you need a mission statement. You need to figure out this meaning. Again, if we can relate this, maybe your goal right now is to be fit for your family, for your friends, whatever. Again, related to that, it's not just about you. Maybe it's the fact that your family has health conditions. Maybe your family has diabetes or cancer or whatever runs in the family, right? And you want to influence them to be better. And the last one is to know your value. So again, what is it that you value? You got to figure out your standards in life, okay? You don't get what you want out of life. You get your standards. Or there was a specific quote on this, but I'm paraphrasing, but you go back to your standards, okay? When things go wrong, you don't get what you want. You get your standards. You get what you tolerate. You get what you set for yourself, what's acceptable. Okay, you need to know your values and you got to set your standards. And this is number 1. So understand what it is you stand for, what you're passionate about, in order and what you want to add to this world. Okay, that's your step 1. Step 2, set your life up so you can act in line with these beliefs on a daily basis. Again, going back to, how do you become congruent with the person you want to be? Set your life up so you can act in line with these beliefs on a daily basis. This is the problem that so many people have, is that we highlight intensity. We highlight having an amazing, perfect week versus 80% every single day for 365 days. I'm going to repeat myself. Too many people focus on intensity versus consistency. So it's through daily habits, daily actions. That's what gets you to your end goal. If you can internalize that, that's $1 million answer right there. It's not through crazy workout program. It's not through crazy diet plan. It's through doing the habits every fucking day. That's it. Doing the habits that, again, 80% of the time versus intense going to the gym every single day. And number 2, so again, setting your life in congruence. A lot of people, again, are not doing the things that they want out of life. You got to figure out what you actually want to do. So number 2, you got to figure out what you actually want to do, what's in line with the things that you love, and work towards that. So many people work at jobs, careers, and again, who am I to say that? I'm just a trainer, whatever. I'm just a fitness coach, but I'm telling you, I'm living in congruence with what I want. So I'm sharing my story of myself living in congruence. My values, I value health, I value fitness, and so my career is around the things that I value, and that is what makes me feel in congruence with the things that I want out of life. And right now, maybe you became accountant because your father or mother told you it's a good job, it's going to pay well. I'm sorry to tell you, again, you're going to get to 85, 90 years old and regret your actions. Why? Because you were not living in congruence with yourself. And you're going to say, oh man, you got to be like, well, how about my bills? How about my that? You're telling me to quit my job? No, I'm not telling you to quit your job, but if you want to stay there, I guarantee you're going to be miserable your whole life because you're not living in congruence. So maybe a practical step, you start your side gig, or instead of partying on the weekends, you spend the weekends actually working on that thing that you actually love, whatever that hobby is. Okay, a lot of people make these excuses that I don't have time. You're just using your time poorly. And last one, seize opportunities and follow through. When something comes your way, utilize your strengths and get through it. Okay, so seize opportunities. There are opportunities all around you guys, whatever that goal it is that you want. If you don't have the resources, you got to be resourceful. If you don't have the resources, you got to be resourceful. And if you are, you'll find that every single, I want to say excuse or reason why you can't do something, you'll find a way around it. If we're talking about the gym again, maybe this is part of one of your identities that you want to develop for this year. Okay, so it's raining. So what? Take the subway. Bring a rain jacket. Bring a raincoat. Oh, it's snowing. Okay, again, you can still bring boots, winter boots. Oh, you don't have a car? Take the bus. Take the train. Right? There's always a solution. It's just a matter of, are you going to find it? Are you willing to value your goals more than these excuses? And that's how you can start living your life in congruence. So again, guys, this comes down to living up to what you say you want. If you say you want to be healthier, if you want to be successful in your career, in your job, right? Whatever it is. If you say that, you can't fool yourself. If you're doing the opposite, you can't fool yourself. Okay? You can't fool yourself. You need to start acting as if you already are. So you want to be fit, you got to start acting as that fit version of you. You want to be successful in your relationship, you got to start acting like that person that would be successful in that relationship. Again, I'm just saying this. I'm not a guru in relationships or other areas. I'm talking about for fitness because this is how it works. Okay? This is how it works. And you can apply this to other areas of your life. Because I know a lot of people here, maybe it's not fitness that's your main goal, and that's fine. If that's where you're at, eventually it's going to kick you in the ass. But what I'm telling you is this idea of cognitive dissonance and not acting in line with who you want to be is causing all this mental distress, and you need to start acting as if you already are. So if you want to be fit, again, clearly define who is that person. What does that person look like? What do they value, right? What are they passionate about? What do you stand for? And then set your life up so that you can act in line with those beliefs on a daily fucking basis. And with that being said, guys, that was a long one. I hope this helped. If it did, please share it with a friend or family. Until next time, this is your coach signing out. Peace.